What up guys, Shadizzo here. So what should you be praying with, PLA or ABS? Stay tuned. Alright guys, welcome back. This is 3D printing 101. What should you be going with? ABS or PLA plastic? Now these aren't the only plastic that are out there. However, these are the two most popular ones. So I'm going to kick it off with ABS. What is ABS? ABS is a plastic is made from chemicals based only. Things that you come across pretty much every day that is ABS plastic is pretty much anything in your car. Like your bumper and the plastic stuff inside your car is pretty much ABS. Legos is another one. So the reason why you use ABS, it's because it's strong. It holds its form after it's printed. And it does not fluctuate after it cools down and everything like that. So ABS is really useful for if you're going to be building prototypes, things like that. Now, saying that, ABS is kind of a pain in the butt to print at first. So it's not highly recommended for first time people with 3D printers to go with ABS. And a lot of the inexpensive printers, like the video that I did earlier, episode number 1, the Ender 2 comes with a heated bed. So you need a heated bed to print ABS. The printing temperatures range between 220 to 260 for the nozzle, and the heated bed needs to be right around 60 to 90. It all depends on the brand that you go with and your environment. The other thing that you need to do is, if you can see my printer over my shoulder here, I always do that. I don't have an enclosure. I really don't print ABS as of right now, but typically when you print it, you kind of want to build a box around it and close it. The reason for it is when you print it, the ABS, it actually shrinks when it starts to cool down. So when you're building something, if it's this big, it's going to shrink down to like that big. So it has a dramatic shrink on there, so you don't want any outside things to cool down your printer. For example, your AC kicking on, if you have a vent over it, or if you have a fan that's in the same room that's going back and forth, that could affect your print, and as soon as it warps, it's probably going to be a failed print. So your cooling, you want to cool it slowly. So ABS, once you get it dialed in, and each printer is different, each brand of ABS is different, so you got to tune it to the way that your environment is, because mine will be different than yours when I print ABS, which is a bad thing, but as soon as you get dialed down, it's going to be awesome. Now, the other downside to it, besides having to build an enclosure and everything like that, it is not eco-friendly at all. Most countries, they don't have a recycle program for ABS right now because it's so tough to recycle. So check if you are very conscious of your environment. If the place that you live has a way to recycle the ABS. The other downside is when you're printing it, it gives off a chemical smell. So you don't want to be printing in a small confined room and walk in there and get hit with it. It is a kind of like it just smell like chemical burning. So that's another downside to it. However, if you're going to be printing and you need that strong thing, if you wanted to go outside, everything like that, ABS is a way to go. Now let's talk about PLA. PLA is the primary plastic I use. PLA is made from like cornstarch, very eco-friendly. Actually, if you take a piece of PLA like this guy here, you leave him outside for a while, it will actually dissolve itself. So it's very, very eco-friendly. This is kind of like the plastic that everyone should start using when they first get into 3D printing. Most 3D printers actually come with some plastic. The Anycubic come with a full spool plastic, but every plastic that comes with the 3D printers are PLA itself. So it's very, very easy to use. Now, saying that, the way to print it, you don't need a heated bed. The temperatures you need to have is range from 180 to 220 Fahrenheit. But once again, depends on the brand of the filament that you buy and your printer yourself. Now, it's kind of like the opposite of ABS. It's when you print it, it doesn't shrink, and you want to cool it fast. So you kind of get a little bit more detail on this. It is food safe. So I made some measuring cubes in the past videos. So it's very food safe. Now the downsides to it is if you build supports. So if you build supports that hold something up right there, it could be very, very hard to separate. ABS is very easy because it's flexible, everything like that. PLA, sometimes when you break it, it might shatter, it might go off the other into like your eye or whatnot. So be very, very cautious on this. So it's very fragile. The other thing is if you have a very cold environment, so if you print it up and you want to leave it outside, let's say that I want to leave it's outside, and it's during winter. Even though I'm in Arizona, let's say that I'm somewhere where it's very cold. It becomes very fragile on there, and when you hold it, it could shatter. Now, the opposite is true too. If I leave something that's PLA inside my car during summer, it pretty much is going to sit there and melt, and you're going to have a nice little gup about it. Little glue spot or whatnot in your car. So it really depends on what you want to use. I primarily use PLA. It's very easy to print with. I pretty much have good luck with it. Like this rose here, it's all PLA. It's a hot pink PLA. You can get them in very different colors, everything like that. Super easy to use. I kind of really don't use ABS. I don't like the smell of it. It is kind of not nerve-wracking, but it just takes a lot more work to use the ABS. So it all depends on what you're going to be using it for and what your printer is set up to use. Now, saying that, I'm going to go over real quick of what brands I would recommend. So, using PLA primarily, I came across that sometimes too cheap is not good enough. You get what you pay for. So, I always suggest that find the cheapest plastic that you could buy and buy it. Just because you're going to be going through a lot. More and more you get into 3D printing, more and more spools you go through. So the first brand I primarily use, this is ZYL Tech. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I call it Zytech or ZYL Tech or whatnot. But this right here, it's about 18 bucks. Amazon throws it on sale every once in a while to 14, 13 bucks. Usually when they do that, I buy a handful of it. So I'm just going to go over PLA right now. ABS, they're about the same price, if not like $1 or $2 cheaper. And I'm going to be talking about 3 brands, and they all make PLA, and these are the 3 brands I highly suggest. So here you can see it comes with all these different colors. My favorite of all this is probably this lime green. It comes out really cool. I really enjoy it. Zytech, I haven't had any issues with it. There's been other cheap brands I've used that gum up your 3D printer every time that you print. Now you gotta be careful. If you get like an unnamed spool or whatnot, I even got a brand name spool that was highly recommended. I'm not going to mention their names, but they put metal balls, like lead balls or metal balls, in there to meet the weight requirements of the plastic, which jams up your brass nozzle. So I had fun for an entire weekend, and I kind of just threw that spool out because it keeps jamming up, and turns out there was metal balls in there, which to me, right off the bat, I'll never order from that company, and I haven't ordered from that brand again. So Zytec, haven't had any issues. That hot pink rose I showed you right there, it is this guy right here, or sorry, this guy right here. It's a very cool, you get very cool features, everything like that. Now this one right here, this is Hatchbox, PLA. Hatchbox been very kind to me. This was the first brand that I went with when I got my first 3D printer. Have nothing negative to say about them. It's a solid solid plastic. Very happy with it. I always buy 1 or 2 spools of them. They are on they're a little bit more expensive. They're about $5 to $10 more expensive than Zytec or ZYL Tech. But I really enjoy them. Very easy to print with. Haven't had any issues, and all these PLAs I'm able to print around 200 and get really good detail. But Hatchbox, I mean, solid. Nothing bad to say. You just know it's very consistent. The spools are wind very, very well on them. ZYL Tech, same thing. It's just a solid printer. You know what you're going to get. It's like an old beat up truck. You know that it's not going to be anything fancy, but you know it's going to work when you start it up. This other one, this is 3D Soltech. This plastic I've been getting more and more now. It's about the same price as my first one I recommend, ZYL Tech. I've been very, very pleased with this. Comes in so many different colors, so many different flavors that you could call it on there. I've been very, very happy. I've been seeing myself buying 3D Soltech more and more, just because I've been getting very, very good solid prints out of them. I'm very happy. This brand is very popular, especially people with large format printers like CR10s and everything like that. It has every shade of the rainbow. Now there are some certain plastics that you get are different colors. They're a little bit more expensive, but it's just going to be solid. If I have to choose one that I'm going to go with from now on, it's probably going to be this one. This plastic is just awesome. It does give you a nice little breakdown when you open it. It gives you examples of where you should be printing at, everything like that. So what temperatures work well for what colors, everything like that. So Amazon isn't the only place that you should be looking for. eBay is really good. Now when you go on eBay, you just keep an eye out. A lot of these times, these companies will have like a flash sale on eBay where, buy 6 and get 2 free or whatnot. So always keep an eye on this on eBay going through. I'm not saying buy one from the other, but eBay's always good. So that was a Soltech. Here's a Hatchbox. This orange, I really love this orange. I have it. It's very bright, solid color, holds its color. And here's the ZYL Tech. So always keep an eye out on this. Obviously, like right here, you can buy 10 black for $144, which is about $14 a piece. So Those are the 3 brands I recommend. Now every time that I get a new color, a new spool of it, I always go through and print the Benchy. Couple reasons. One is these plastics, they do come from China. So if you experience anything from China, here, so there's my Benchy. If you are used to buying things from China, you know that not every time it's made the same. Shirts, for example. Sometimes a XL fits me, and sometimes I have to go like triple XL to fit me. Shirts from China. So not everything is made the same. So the Benchy's, the reason why I print them is because it is a stress print. And I'll be able to tell right off the bat if my settings from the previous plastic will be good for this plastic. And they only take about 40 minutes to print. So every single time I get a new spool of PLA or ABS or whatever plastic, I go through and print a Benchy, because it will tell me what is my problem. If it's getting too hot, I could cool down. If it's getting too cold, needs to turn it up, I could turn it up. Need adjust the fans or anything like that. So I always highly recommend, every time that you get a new spool of plastic, always do a test print, either Benchy or something where you could know that once it comes out, you're going to be happy with it. So that's going to be it for me, guys. I'll leave some links in the description here on where to buy this plastic, like Amazon affiliate links or whatnot. So don't forget to check that out. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.